And we are back with the third segment of the GSMC Basketball Podcast presented by the GSMC Sports Network. And in this third segment, we are going to be talking about the Los Angeles Lakers and the possibilities of them pursuing a trade. I mean, finally, the Lakers are actually looking to make a move before the season starts. I mean, obviously, you could make the argument that it's a little bit late to try and make a move. But, still making one move is better than doing absolutely nothing considering the roster that they had. And I will say that, again, the only move that they made was the head coaching change and the coaching staff. But maybe I have a little bit of faith in J.J. Redick. Just a little bit. Anything, in my opinion, is better than Darvin Ham as your coach. And with J.J. Redick and how he has a much more modern approach to the game, I think he could bring a lot of good things for this team. However, it could always backfire, and some of the players just can't shoot the ball properly. That tends to be LeBron's case almost every single time. But that is besides the point. Again, for any of you guys who don't like LeBron, I said almost every single time. Doesn't happen every time, just almost every single time. But again, back on this trade, it seems that the Lakers are targeting a blockbuster trade for Charlotte Hornets star, quote unquote, that could immediately make them the championship favorites for this season. Obviously, the headline is very, very dramatic. This happens every single time that the Lakers make any move in the offseason. They thought that they were going to be title favorites once they got Russell Westbrook, and that turned out to be a total failure. Any sort of move that they think they can make is just immediately puts them in, championship success. And then when they struggle in the regular season, that's when somebody on the Lakers roster or somebody in the Lakers coaching staff gets scapegoated. And then once they get scapegoated, it fizzles into, the rest of the season. And then after All-Star break, they go on a little bit of a run. Then they get, rather excited for the possibility of being in the postseason. And then once they get into the postseason, they get wrecked by Denver. That is just the cycle of the Lakers. And that's been the case for the Lakers in the last two seasons, and aside from getting wrecked by Denver, it's been the case for the Lakers for a majority of the season, like a majority of the past seasons that they've had. Like, it's really, again, I understand this, though. I mean, you're always going to be a title favorite when you have LeBron James on your roster, but I mean, it's getting a little bit ridiculous now, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and see what the article's got to say. So the Lakers, as you guys know, they've remained very quiet in the offseason, despite speculation that they might target a big name to form a new trio alongside LeBron and Anthony Davis, which ended up not happening, of course, because they're the Lakers. And while rumors did swirl about, the team didn't make major additions. So they discussed that LeBron tried to bring Klay Thompson, but Thompson decided to join the Dallas Mavericks because he said, "Nah, I don't like you, LeBron," or something like that. Don't take that literally. That was just a joke because, I mean, I have no idea what happened inside the walls of these sort of conversations. But really, I think to sum up a lot of it and to sum up most of the moves, I think some of these players, they don't want to play for LA, mainly because of the scrutiny that they might face when playing with LeBron. LeBron James's teammates, they get a lot of scrutiny for some things that might be out of their control, and if they play even a little bit worse than what they were to previously play, then the entire team, the entire franchise, and the entire fans would immediately turn on him. This happened with Westbrook, and I feel like all of the criticism that Westbrook got with all of the talents that he brings on the court, because again, I think the criticism was well deserved, but a lot of NBA players are probably going to look at that criticism like, goodness me, what happens if I were to play like that? What would they say about me? It brings a lot of pressure when trying to become a Laker, and not just playing with LeBron. It's a lot of pressure being a Laker, and it's really I think that, along with the fact that LeBron James is on the Lakers, is a reason why players don't want to play in a Lakers jersey. But that's just me. So, amid the Lakers' quiet offseason, Brett Seigel of Clutch Points, forgive me if I messed up that last name, has provided some sort of news for the fans. Now, he reported that the Lakers have expressed interest in several potential trade targets over the summer, and one name that has come up is the Charlotte Hornets center Nick Richards. Now, I know what all of you guys are thinking. Oh my God, who is Nick Richards? There's no way that this guy immediately turns them into a title favorite. And to that, I agree with you guys. There's no way that this guy could turn the Lakers around completely. Like, I think it's going to take a lot more than that, than just adding one center. Not to mention, I have no idea what kind of players or who they're going to have to give up in order to get him. And this is the quote that came in. The Lakers expressed interest in several possible trade targets during the summer. League sources confirmed to Clutch Points. One of the players that they expressed interest in was Nick Richards for the Charlotte Hornets, the report read. And Richards is coming off his best season, averaging 9.7 points and 8 rebounds. Hey, that's more points than Bronny, by the way. But as a young and rising talent, he could be valuable, and there is no guarantee on whether or not he might actually elevate his game when playing with LeBron and Anthony Davis. I wonder how the rotations are going to look, but I do think, like acquiring a young player that has potential is a rather good start. Like, I mean, anything is a good start when you did absolutely nothing, I guess you could say. So in hindsight, might be going a little bit easy on this, but the Lakers, they have completed 3 preseason games, securing just 1 victory. And despite the anticipation surrounding their preseason, the team has yet to play like any of these games in Crypto Arena. So, take that with a grain of salt. So ESPN's Brian Windhorst explained the situation regarding the Lakers' home court. Right now, the Lakers can't use Crypto. There's a pretty heavy renovation going on there right now, especially outside of the building, if any of that is important to you guys. But that's sort of the reason why they haven't played at home in any of these games, and why they're sort of forced to go on the road for a lot of these preseason games. And like, due to these renovations, the Lakers played their first 2 preseason games in Acrisure Arena, in Palm Desert. And then they faced the Bucks in Fiserv Forum in Wisconsin, which led to some frustration from LeBron over on Twitter, or on X, formerly known as Twitter, And he was like, why do we have to go over to Milwaukee to play this game? He was already complaining about that. But back on the trade move, again, any move is better than nothing at this point for the Lakers. I don't expect them to make a huge jump compared to what was going on last season because of him. I expect them to make a huge jump because of the coaching changes and the overall the way that the offensive system is going to work with the Lakers now, and how the rotations are going to work with the Lakers. That's really something that I'm more interested in, and I feel like is going to bring much more of an impact to the Lakers as opposed to these sort of changes, right? So the reality is that these reports, they're just gassing it up, I guess you could say. And what does that mean? It just means they're over-exaggerating it by wide proportions, similar to how they over-exaggerated the Russell Westbrook deal. I want to be the first to say, like, I thought the Russell Westbrook deal on paper could end up working out, having LeBron James playing in the starting lineup and then having him sit out for a little bit because of his age, and having Russell Westbrook take up the ball and having Russell Westbrook be the ball dominant player that he is. However, Darvin Ham had no idea what he was doing. He completely forgot that Russell Westbrook can't shoot, and would constantly put him in rotations with a bunch of centers that obstruct his path to the basket. And these lineups, they would not work for Russell Westbrook. However, I'm not going to sit here and say that Russell Westbrook played good enough for the Lakers. And I understand the whole rotation was a problem, but Russ was missing easy layups. Russ was making crucial mistakes that he always does. And I knew that eventually this move would end up backfiring for the Lakers because it's Russell Westbrook. And I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but Russ, yes, he does bring good, but he also brings a lot of bad with that good that I feel cancels out any of the good that he can bring. He's very, very inconsistent night in and night out, and you cannot have that if you are a team that is trying to compete for a championship. You need to have consistency. That is one of the most important things in creating a basketball lineup and creating a winning team. Without consistency, then there's no chance that you're going to win. and mainly offensive consistency. But if you do have the defensive consistency and you're constantly a great defensive team, that ultimately boosts your chances of winning a championship, because again, if your offense doesn't really hold up the way it's supposed to, you have something to fall back on. This was a problem that I had with the Pacers, and a reason why the Pacers had several close playoff series aside from the one that they got swept in was because of their lack of defense. And if you need defense, you just absolutely need to have defense. It's way more than just offense that wins championships. I'm sure a lot of old heads are going to love that. Oh, defense wins championships, you know. But that's all that I really have for this third segment. So now we're going to go ahead and go into our preseason recap of all the games that happened yesterday in the fourth segment. So I'll be right back after this short break. Be sure to stay tuned.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.